until I found Lindsey weeping over her weight. She's 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighs 120 pounds, the same as Gracie. She doesn't even have a freckle. Her date for the prom told her he couldn't go with her, that she was too fat. She was standing naked in front of the full-length mirror, sobbing and reading Sylvia Plath aloud. Remember her? She's the poet who stuck her head in the oven and killed herself. The final straw was the romantic dinner I had with Louis Provost at Epernay, and his wife, Cherry, showed up to introduce herself. Didn't know there was a wife. Thanks, Louis. Can't have dinner there anymore. I said to myself, Linda, you can definitely do better than this. All of a sudden, it was clear to me that I had a stupid job and we had a very stupid life. So I called my sister, and she said, Honey, child, you put yourself and your girls in your car and come on down to me. So that's what I'm doing out here in the middle of the night in Virginia, traveling under the wings of all these trucks. But can you keep a secret? I quit my job. We're moving to Mount Pleasant, and no one knows it except you and me. I know it seems slightly sneaky and a little impetuous, but you know what? It's not. Look, if New Jersey had wanted us, it would have given us a reason to stay. It didn't. I told the girls it was a vacation. I told my employer I would be back in 4 weeks. They knew I had vacation time piled up like laundry. Maybe they know, and maybe they don't. I have to find a job. And that, my friend, should be the easiest part. I could get hired as a gravedigger and make myself believe that I was working at Mardi Gras. But hey, brighter days and better days are coming. I can feel it in my bones, I really can. I am absolutely going to make this work.
Prologue, June 2003. My mother always used to say that if a man could count his real friends on just one hand, that he was a wealthy man indeed. My mother was right. I'm going to tell you a story about heaven and hell, and how I got out of one and found the other, both with the help of a true blue friend. Hell was being married to Loretta and working for her father. Heaven is our restaurant on Shem Creek, which we would never have had except for the generosity and ingenuity of my best friend and partner, Robert. We call it Jackson Hole because my last name is Jackson, and I guess you could say it is a hole in the wall. Yeah, it's definitely a hole in the wall. And Robert likes to ski, guess where? I know. It's a less than nimble play on words, but let's get this on the record right now. When the whole world conspires against you, a healthy sense of humor can be a very valuable tool. And up until 8 months ago, the world conspired. Worse, I was thrashing around in my quagmire of self-deception, watching it happen, and didn't do a thing about it. I used to come down here all the time in between deals, and I guess I've been fishing the waters around Charleston for 15 years. There isn't a creek in this whole area that hasn't seen the bottom of my boat. But that said, every time I dropped a hook in the salty creeks and rivers, it always seemed like the first time. The landscape and the light, well, it was always a little different, quiet but vibrant. You could have made yourself believe that the good Lord himself was somewhere in the thicket, waiting patiently for you to remember that he was still there. It finally got to the point where I just left my boat in South Carolina. And my heart? Well, looking back, it seems now that the only time I ever thought about it was when I was floating on the Lowcountry waters. We should discuss this heaven and hell thing, which all begins with my newly acquired at great personal loss philosophy. Here it is, in a nutshell. When you choose the wrong partner at the dance, whether it's marriage or profession, you will surely bust your ass.